This is a free download from the BBC. For more information, go to bbc.co.uk/podcasts.
While you're on the line, Dave.
Yes.
Could you do me a favour?
What's that?
Repeat the words I'm about to say. This is the podcast. Welcome.
This is the podcast. Welcome.
Not prodcard, podcast.
Podcast. Welcome.
This is the podcast. Welcome.
This is the podcast. Welcome.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Here's this bit.
Here's this bit.
Good morning, Iain.
Leslie, how are you this morning?
Not too good, not too bad.
You're not too good, not too bad?
Yeah.
Okay, so somewhere in between.
Yeah.
I'm feeling your pain.
Pardon? Oh, yeah, we all do sometimes.
Yeah, we all do. You know, we all do. Have you broken any speed laws recently? Done a ton on the M1?
No, what? I'm coming from that rubbish town the other day.
Which rubbish town?
Aylesbury.
Aylesbury?
What rubbish?
What? I like the way you said that rubbish town as though I was supposed to know you meant Aylesbury. Why is Aylesbury so rubbish?
Because I was working there on the Thursday night at a bank after on work all night, and the town was completely empty all through the night.
It's not London or New York, it's Aylesbury. Of course it's going to be empty.
I went back, me and the wife, to get some from a meat shop down there.
Yeah.
And there was no one buying anything.
No.
You know, it's like there's no one lives there.
Well, hang on, let's put, if you live in Aylesbury, 08459 455 555, let's try and prove Leslie wrong this morning. So, OK, so you Leslie, listen, I've got to do travel and news. Can you wait for a couple of minutes?
Yeah, no problem.
OK, thank you. He didn't sound happy about it. He didn't sound happy. I love the way he says that rubbish town, and I'm supposed to know he means Aylesbury. Leslie, I'll be with you in a second. We were speaking to Leslie. Good morning, Leslie. Thank you for waiting around. Why did you call in? Was it just to slag off Aylesbury?
No, sorry, and I apologise to all the other people. It's wrong town. It was Bletchley, Queens Way.
He got the wrong town! He got the wrong town!
I kept getting those two mixed up, at all time.
OK, well, listen, I think you... OK, we need to do some damage control here. You need to offer a sincere and open apology to the people of Aylesbury, Leslie. Over to you.
Apologise to all the people of Aylesbury who have mentioned their town. It's a rubbish town. It was the wrong town. It is Bletchley Town in the Queens Way Shopping Centre.
Anything else you want to say, Leslie?
Yeah, about you remember these old Vauxhall Cavalier?
Yeah, the Vauxhall Cavalier. Yes, we've moved on from Bletchley and Aylesbury now.
Yeah. And the A5, one of them came up against me. I couldn't touch it. I was shocked.
Sorry, you were on the A5, and what happened?
One of them came up against me. I couldn't touch it. I was shocked.
Let me just take those sentences out of context. One of them came up against me. I couldn't touch it. I was shocked.
Yeah.
Wowzers. One of what?
Vauxhall, is it us? No, not us. Cavalier, our old Cavalier.
Were you racing against a Vauxhall Cavalier?
Well, it was trying to take me, but I tried to leave it standing, but I couldn't.
You couldn't? Gosh, wow, that really is illegal, isn't it?
No, it's not on the A5.
It's not illegal to race cars on the A5?
No, there ain't no speed limit on it.
There is a speed limit on the A5. Yes, there is! There is definitely a speed limit on the A5.
Whereabouts? I didn't see any.
Let me just check with our political reporter, Paul Scoins. Paul,
Yes?
Sorry to bring you in on this. I know we're talking about something different, and I'm just going to throw this at you. Do you know, is there a speed limit on the A5?
I'm pretty sure there is.
Yeah. OK, thanks very much, Paul. We'll come back to you in a second. That's a political reporter, Paul Scoins there, Leslie, who thinks there is a speed limit on the A5.
Well, you think he's not sure, is he?
Are you sure, Paul? Or he makes a good point there.
He does make a good point. I am absolutely certain.
He's certain, Leslie.
Well, I didn't see one.
Dave Luton's on the line. Morning, Dave.
Good morning, boss.
Now, Dave.
Two little stories I want to ask
Which you may get to. We may have time to get to or not. I spoke yet. Do you ever watch the Watchdog television programme?
Sometimes.
Are you aware of the gentleman who does the Rogue Traders?
What, the last bloke or the new one?
The current one.
Oh, the current one. I have seen it once a couple of times.
You've seen it once a couple of times, have you, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's his name?
God, you asked me a question now.
It's a question, yeah.
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 No, I can't. No, I can't just think of his
Roy
name
Kinnear?
at the moment. No, it's not Roy Kinnear.
Roger Cook?
No.
Matt Allwright?
Who?
Yeah.
I'm all right, thanks. Yeah, you?
It's Matt Allwright.
Yeah, I think so. Shall we ask him?
He stands up for underdogs and people who he feels have been abused and violated.
Oh, I don't know. I don't honestly know, boss.
OK, well, I'm getting to a point, Dave. That's his name. That's who he is, right?
Oh, OK.
I spoke to him last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he somehow got hold of my private telephone number.
Oh, yeah?
And he was complaining. He heard some of yesterday's show. He was complaining about the way I had treated you on yesterday's show. He said it was borderline bullying, and that if it continued, he might consider doing a Watchdog Rogue Trader investigation into me.
Oh, brilliant.
No.
What's his name, Mark? What?
Mark what?
What's his name?
Mark what?
Oh, right. Hope he's listening.
Well, Mark...
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Freddie.
Yeah, Mark Watts from Rogue Traders, Watchdog, is he wants me to apologise to you.
Oh, great. Thanks, Mark. Mate.
No,
carry on.
It's Mark Watts.
Yeah, thanks, Mark Watts.
I want you to say, Dave, thanks, Mark Watts from Rogue Traders, for sticking up for me.
Thanks, Mark Watts from Road Traders, for sticking up for me. Brilliant bloke. Brilliant. I watch him all the time now. Right, let me...
I'm not going to apologise to you, though, Dave. That's the point I'm getting to.
Right. No, you wouldn't, would you?
No,
You know
I
what
wouldn't.
mean?
I wouldn't.
No.
Well, I don't know about Steve Rye, but he was at the sign...
Have you been drinking?
Good Lord, no. Well, only water. I've only been up half an hour. Time to get up 2 hours. Water, my dear boy, water.
You're very slurry today.
Sorry?
Yes, you're very slurry today.
Well, I hope I'm not. If I am, I'm probably going to about to throw a thromby.
Yeah, we could. I think he's going to throw a thromby.
But the other thing was that the Daily Mail, I haven't read it yet, but I shall go by it. But the reason they concentrate on ladies' legs is because us men love ladies, and we do like a bit of leg. Can you imagine Neil Kinnock walking out of 10 Downing Street and someone said, "Oh, he showed a nice bit of ankle, that kid."
But Richard, women like, and I'm going to just take a punt here. Kath.
Punt away, my dear.
Catherine, women like men's bums, yeah?
Well, it depends on the bum.
Exactly, you see, Richard. So why don't we get... David Cameron was wearing... David Cameron was... Shut up.
Just a minute.
No, you shut up.
You can't compare apples with pears. A bit of thigh and a bit of leg, fine.
But you don't get...
You don't get the politicians coming out, dropping their trousers and saying, "Oh, have a look at my botty bots."
But you don't get the Daily Mail saying David Cameron was wearing a figure-hugging aquascutum suit that really showed off his firm buttocks. You don't get that, do you?
We didn't say that about the women. Women like to wear...
They've talked about their thighs and whether their jackets are too big or too small and whether they look appropriate.
Don't shout at me.
Hang on a second, Richard. Say hello to Jane.
Hello, Jane.
Richard.
Hello, Jane.
How are you?
Rock and roll. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm just...
I love women, by the way.
Pardon?
I love women, by the way. Always have done. They brighten up one's life. A nice bit of thigh, a cute cut ankle. Goodness gracious me, a rustle of the skirt. On me soul, where could I go?
We're not all swivel sticks, I'm afraid, Fruit Pie.
What's a swivel stick?
Somebody who's skinny.
I don't like skinny women. I like women that've got a bit of body to them, shall we say?
Oh, I'm one of those.
Are you?
Yeah.
Where do you live?
Aylesbury.
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 You have to take me out for a drink. Nothing. I don't like skinny women. Never have done.
No.
I don't do anything. How tall are you?
5'5".
Lovely. What colour's your hair?
Salt and pepper.
What's salt and pepper? Oh, a bit grey.
Yeah.
I mean, a bit distinguished, I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Lovely. Delicious. Do you know they played my feature? Jim?
I know. Richard.
Well, yes.
I'm disgusted with the way Ian treats you.
Well, I missed that.
I'm disgusted with the way Ian treats you.
You know, he's outrageous, isn't he?
He is dangerous. He's rude, obnoxious, and he shouts over everybody.
I know he does. He's got the manners of a plonker, as he's described recently by Simon. I mean,
absolutely.
I think it's his age, you know.
Could be, yeah. He's catching up with us, I think.
What are we going to do about it?
I don't know. Give him a good slap on the wrist and a kick up the bum.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll kick him in his ankle.
Yeah, so hit it where it hurts.
Oh, yes, that too.
Teach him a lesson.
He can be outrageous. One has to shout back at him.
I know.
Put him in his
so
face.
rude.
Yeah.
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 Richard, I'm on your side, sweet pie.
Thanks, darling.
Okay. Take care.
Entre mes reins, tu vas et tu viens. Entre mes reins, et je te rejoins.
Oh, I think it's disgusting.
Mohammed's in Luton. Morning, Mohammed.
Morning.
What you got for us?
I was just going to make a point about all this sort of negative news that we seem to hear on various different media, formats of media about Syria, and more importantly about people going over there. You know, everyone seems to focus on people going over there to fight in this war.
Yeah.
But we don't sort of hear enough about all the sort of positive stuff that's going on. You know, and I'm talking specifically about giving aid in charity. And people actually physically going out there, you know, to take food and medical aid and whatnot for the people of Syria, as opposed to, you know, specifically going out there to fight. But it seems like everything you hear about is people going out there to fight, but, you know, you never hear about all the good things that are happening. I just sort of wanted to get that point across.
People going out there to fight is a big story, isn't it? You would assume that where
Not
there
really.
are... Well,
I don't think it is a big story. I think the big story about why aren't all the good things in life big stories?
Because they're boring, Mohammed. They're boring.
Well,
it's true. They're boring, but don't you? But also, no, it's true. You're not going to sell a newspaper with, "Hey, something good happened today. Someone went and did something nice."
Well,
it doesn't sell a newspaper.
Let's bring back page 3 and rather have it on one page. Let's have it spread all across the newspaper, because that's a good thing, isn't it?
Well, that's the daily. That's the Star you're describing there. They do that quite freely. But also, it is.
I think it depends on your mindset as to what you think is good and what isn't.
Well, no. Also, Mohammed, do you not think it's significant that British people are going to a foreign war and are fighting and are being criminalised because of that? Do you not think that's an interesting story?
Not really.
Why?
I think what is interesting? Just boring. I find it boring.
So you find it boring that you find it boring that British citizens are travelling to a foreign country to fight and they are being criminalised for it. You find that boring?
I think so. I think we should highlight, because again, you're focusing on a minority.
No. I know it is a minority, but even minority stories, Mohammed. Even minority stories can still be interesting.
Well, let's talk about prostitution then. That's a minority.
What has that got to do with Syria, Mohammed?
Well, let's just go off on a tangent, shall we?
Why? No. Let's focus.
You're about minorities, aren't you? I'm on about, look, why don't we, as a country, focus on some of the good things that we all do collectively, rather than, you know, and seeing as we're on the topic of sort of, I know what you're all thinking, it's like Muslims again, you know, but okay.
No, Mohammed, stop. Yellow.
No,
Stop. You can make your point. Yellow card. Yellow card because you've just made. No, Mohammed, you've just made a wrong.
Hang on a minute, mate. I'm probably the voice of most of your Asian Muslim.
No, you're not, Mohammed. And anyone who says that is a plum. No one can say they are a spokesperson for a specific group.
No.
You have just made. I'm going to.
You're obviously.
Mohammed.
You're
listen.
So who are you talking for?
I'm talking for me, mate, and you're talking for you.
Well, I'm talking for myself.
No, you just said you're the voice of Muslims in Luton. You're not. You're the voice of Mohammed in Luton.
Not specifically, mate. Basically, if you speak to most Muslims, they would like you to focus on the good things. That's what I'm saying.
That
do you know how much money? Do you know how much money is being raised in Luton alone for Syria for the benefit of the people?
And you know where all that money's going, do you, Mohammed?
Sorry?
You know where all of that money's going, do you?
Mate, I'm telling you, this is how deluded you are. You don't even know. People are physically, not just raising charity, they're physically putting their lives at risk to cross the border and go there and give charity and come back.
I know.
So what are you talking about? Do you know where that money's going?
Do you know where all...
Come to the mosque. Come to one of the mosques in Luton, and you will see where the money's going, my friend.
Well, no, Mohammed, do you know...
I'm not talking about Muslims.
Mohammed, are you going to listen, or am I going to have to let you go? Are you going to have a conversation? No. You hang on a minute, sunshine. Are you going to have a conversation with me, or are you going to have a rant? The choice is yours. If you're going to have a rant, I'm going to let you go. If you're going to have a conversation, you can stick.
Will you listen to me for a minute?
No, he's having a rant. Flipping it.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Nicola. Now, Mohammed is going to make all kinds of assumptions about why I cut him off. The very simple reason I cut him off is he was not prepared to have a conversation. I could have kept him on until 9 o'clock if he'd wanted to have a conversation with me and to listen and have a two-way exchange of information. He wasn't going to allow me to do that. Mohammed, if you want to come back on and have a conversation, you're more than welcome to. But none of this, shut up, you've got to listen to me, none of that, none of these making far-reaching assumptions. Have a conversation, OK? I don't normally do this. I'll give you a second chance. I'm feeling generous today, Mohammed. I'm going to give you a second chance if you want it. Mohammed, would you like to try again?
Ian, you calm down, mate. I seem to have struck a chord with you, I think.
No. It was your rudeness and your inability to have a conversation that upset me.
Right, okay.
Would you like?
That's a shame because I'm in sales and I seem to find that I convolate quite good.
You convolate? What does convolate mean?
Conversate rather.
What does conversate mean?
Right, rather well. But anyway, let's talk about what we're going to talk about.
Well, you've just made up two words there, Mohammed, so I'm not quite sure how well you convolate. But yes.
We're always adding words to the English dictionary. I just thought, my attempt.
As a salesperson, I would have hoped you would have spoken incorrect English. Anyway, Mohammed, now,
mate,
let me lay the rules out before we get into this, OK?
Go on, then.
The rules are, we have a conversation, OK? You listen to me.
And then when I say something you don't like, you throw your toes out your pram. Oh, sorry. OK, go on. I'm joking, mate.
The rules are, Mohammed...
Yeah, go on.
The rules are, Mohammed, you listen to me, you respond, I listen to you, and you respond. Do you think you can do that without being rude?
That's excellent. I think we can do that, yeah.
Do you think...
you're the one that called me a plum, Ian. Come on.
Do you think you can do that without that horrible, sarcastic tone in your voice?
Yes, come.
Okay,
let's have a conversation.
OK, then, Mohammed. So, you called
up... Can I go first, then, please?
I'll tell you what, why not? I'm feeling generous today.
Excellent. All right, good. Right, so I called up, because there's all this negativity in the media, about things that are happening in other parts of the world, And let's be fair, it does tie in with Islam and Muslims, what's going on in Syria.
And why do you think that is, Mohammed? Why do you think it ties in with Islam and Muslims in Syria?
Because let's be honest, we know they're a Muslim country, and they're fighting, and there's so
that's why Muslims are mentioned. That's why Muslims
not state the obvious. So
that's why Muslims are mentioned. He's not listening again. That's why Muslims are mentioned in that story, Mohammed, because it's a Muslim country. Okay, so it's that's not a hidden agenda. That's
of course it's not.
Okay,
no, exactly. So. My point this morning was just because I'm in and around the mosques. I live in a town which is quite heavily populated by Muslims. I wanted the media for once to focus on some of the good things that are going on, not just within the Muslim community, but the community at large for Syria, which, as far as I see it, We should be focusing on the aid and the charity work. That's, you know, not just money being raised, but people physically going out there, putting their lives at risk, yeah, and they're going out to Syria to physically hand out aid. You know, they're buying, the rice and whatever it may be that they're buying, food that's going to last a long time, and they're physically. And I can tell you this from first-hand experience in the sense that I'm talking to people that have been out there. I've spoken to people that have been there.
From second-hand experience, from anecdotal evidence.
Okay,
First-hand experience. No, Mohammed.
Yeah, I know. Okay,
we have to be specific in this conversation,
okay.
Mohammed. In this conversation, yes, we will be specific.
All right, so you want to pick holes in everything I say? Okay,
no, Mohammed.
No, okay,
Mohammed.
all right, so second-hand experience.
Yellow
Let me
card.
finish.
No.
Let me finish.
No, we've stopped on a little point. You can carry on and make your point in a second. Yes, when we have conversations, I kind of like to be specific and accurate. So you've not had first-hand experience. You've got anecdotal evidence. Carry on.
That's fine. Yeah, okay. So, but your response to me this morning in our first conversation was, it's boring. Yeah? But you're not realising what you're doing to a community then. Yeah,
what
just
am
because
I doing?
something doesn't
What
sell.
am I?
Well,
Mohammed, calm down, fella.
You want to tell the negative side of what's going on.
Mohammed, calm down and listen.
I am calm, mate.
Remember the rules. Stay calm.
I am calm, mate.
Mohammed, remember the rules.
You need to stop interrupting me, then, don't you?
Mohammed, stay calm. Remember the rules. We're having a conversation, okay?
Of course we are.
Okay, so I'm going to interject now. Okay,
hang on, I want to finish. Just let me finish.
No, that's not conversation, Mohammed. That's a rant, and that's what got you cut off last time.
No, but you're interrupting. You need to learn to not interrupt.
It's called a conversation, Mohammed. We don't. When people sit down in the pub or in the park and have a conversation, they don't sit there and do their pieces and then go, "I've finished. It's your turn." People they have a conversation. So, what damage am I doing to a particular community today?
Well, you tell me why your response was it's boring. You tell me that. Why was what I suggested boring to you?
Because, Mohammed, I don't think it's the most significant part of the story. Because in terms of newspapers, people do good things doesn't sell newspapers. I know it's a cold, hard fact, but it's true. And finally, I think it's more...
Iain,
Mohammed,
hang on, Iain, let me just say,
okay.
Do you not think that's a reflection of the society we live in then?
Well, whether it is or not, I don't know.
Come on, let's be honest.
Whether it is or not, I don't know. And I also think
I'm asking your opinion, your personal opinion. You come over as really intelligent. I listen to you guys regularly. I
don't know if you do, because you don't seem to understand the format of the show.
Well, like I said, I listen. I just don't take part too often because I'm normally not that good at taking part.
Well, you're not. I'll be honest, Mohammed.
I'll shoot you down all the time, but yeah, go on.
Well, Mohammed, I'd give you a 4 out of 10, and that's primarily for having the balls to call up. It's not for effort. And the third point is...
I don't want to be a radio presenter, but go on. Yeah, go on. I'm listening to you. Third point is what?
Are you going to carry on making little digs, or do you want to do this conversation, Mohammed?
Yeah, let's do the conversation.
Okay. It's not going to last much longer.
Okay.
The third point is, Mohammed...
Yeah.
Do you know what? This isn't working for me, mate. I don't like your tone. I'm gonna let you go.
Go on, I'm listening.
No, Mohammed, I don't like your tone. I've been more than generous with you on the airtime, and I really don't like your attitude, I'm afraid. So I'm gonna say thank you very much, and I hope you find another radio station to call.
Oh, there's plenty. Cheers, Iain. Thanks.
Okay. This happened.
This happened.
The morning is young. I'm going to be here for the next hour or so, asking people about their cars and have they been vandalised. Certainly unusual.
Now, as I get older, vandalism I find it more and more annoying. You were telling me about some horrific vandalism at the end of your street that happened to you a few years ago.
Yeah. For some reason, somebody got some spray paint and on the fence at the bottom of my road was spraying things such as JD is gay. It was bizarre.
And what happened?
Well, it went, then it came back. Then all of a sudden, the group must have left the country or something and stopped doing what they were doing because it just disappeared. It just vanished and it never came back.
They left the country.
Must have. Never saw it again. Or something happened to them, I don't know. It's taken me a long time, Ian, and I've never really got to the bottom of that one.
That must have been really upsetting for you, having to walk past that every day.
It wasn't upsetting. I mean, it's, as you know, I deal in fact and not fiction. And they were wrong. If they wanted to write that, it's fine, but they were wrong. It just seemed to be a bit pointless, really. And actually, at the weekend, I was driving to work. Obviously, some idiot on Friday evening in Hemel had a few too many beers on the way home, decided to smash up the local bus stop. What's going on where I live? Just kids these days.
Hey, I saw something people might want to talk about. Do you want to know what it is?
Let me think for a second. Something that people might want to talk about. Kath saw it. Do I want to know what it is? Let me ask... hang on, sorry, let me just ask Siri. Let's see if I can get Siri to work. Do I want to know what Kath saw that people might want to talk about?
Who would you like to ring?
Hang on. No. Kath saw something that people might like to talk about. Do I want to know what it is?
Okay.
Sorry, hang on.
Didn't sound too sure.
No. Do I want... Well,
My web search turned this up.
no, hang on. Do I want to know what Kath saw?
Okay, take a look.
It's giving me Wikipedia about a castle. What? Hang on.
Because it thinks you're saying... If you say Catherine, which is my actual name...
Who is Catherine Boyle?
Oh.
It's looking. I think you might have upset Siri. Bear with us.
Is he being serious?
There is a Texan beauty queen called Catherine Boyle.
I'm really sorry about this, but I can't take any requests at the moment. Please try again in a bit.
Oh, shall I try on my phone? Maybe
Yeah,
it's just in a mood with you.
Hey!
Hang on a second, we can't...
Does Ian want to see what Kath saw?
Looking. Here's what I found on the web.
Oh, he thinks I said, does Ian want to see
Hang on
a
a minute.
castle?
Hang on a minute.
Because my name's not Kath.
Who is Catherine Boyle?
Stop it.
Does Ian
Contact
like
information for Catherine Boyle.
Okay, it's not... I tell you what, Kath...
Here's what I found on the web.
I tell you what, Kath, I'm going to take a punt. Yeah, go on, tell us.
Right, net mums have done a survey, but don't let that put you off.
Net mums have done a survey and it's... Whoa!
Apparently households are cutting back 10% on their expenditure. Why? Why? To buy presents for teachers at the end of term.
Jeez.
17 out of 20 pupils give end-of-year gifts to teachers, an average cost of £10. And apparently competition between families has led to staff at some schools being sent gifts including spa weekends and designer handbags. It's...
Flippin' heck.
I don't think I'm going to buy a present at all. Is that tight?
No, well, you know...
Listen, my sister used to be a teacher. She used to come home every end of term with mugs, teddy bears, all that sort of stuff.
Straight in the bin.
I mean, what are you going to do with it? How many mugs do you need?
Well, if you've got vouchers for a spa, though, then you're going to use those.
Do you know what I'm going to do instead? I'm going to write in the card actually what she's meant to my daughter's learning and how brilliant she's been. Write them something that means something, that is individual. And that touches a point and, you know, it makes them realise that what they do is important.
I like the way you did that lesson, miss. It was wicked.
Sick!
Something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
You're totally Bear Grylls, baby.
She is.
Well, I try to think what we used to give teachers. Cards.
Yeah, card.
Little card.
I once bought mine a Christmas decoration. She left around Christmas. She wrote a thank you card saying it's something that I bring out every year now.
One of my first ever crushes...
She probably doesn't anymore.
...was on Mrs Hammond. I wonder where Mrs Hammond is these days, what she got up to. We used to have a song
Ask
about...
Richard.
We used to have a song about her killing her husband. She hadn't killed her husband, but
Wishful thinking, was it?
Well, we just had a song about her killing her husband, as you do.
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah.
Sorry? Well, there was a song about this old hammer killed Joe Henry. Do you remember that song? Joe Henry was a gentleman who dug a hole through a mountain for a train.
That was John Henry, wasn't it?
Whatever. They shortened it to Joe. And so we changed it to Mrs Hammond killed her husband, but she won't kill me. If you know where she is, I had such a crush on her.
School in the 30s was weird.
Oh, cheeky! Here's this bit. Hast du Geschwister?
Nein, ich habe eine Bruder.
Oh. Nein. Geschwister ist eine Schwester oder Bruder.
Ah, ja. Ich habe einen Bruder. Mein Bruder heißt Christopher.
Geschwister?
Er hat blondes Haare und blaue Augen.
Wo wohnst du?
Ich wohne in Harpenden. Harpenden liegt in Südostengland, in der Nähe von der historischen Stadt St. Albans.
Entschuldigen Sie bitte, wie komme ich am besten zum Bahnhof?
Can't remember the directions to the train station.
Gehen Sie hier geradeaus, über die Kreuzung, und der Bahnhof ist über der linken Seite.
Ah,
yeah.
You sounded a bit Dutch then. Your German sounds a bit Dutch.
You sounded very German until you said Harpenden. And then
you can't say Harpenden with a German accent.
Harpenden. No, you can't.
No, you
can't. Wasn't that good?
Wasn't that lovely?
That was marvellous.
What a complete and utter waste of years of my life.
Yeah, German was.
I
really.
mean, what a waste. How stupid to teach children German. I mean, I wish, because nowadays they teach children constructive languages like Spanish.
Or the Chinese. I'd love to learn the
Chinese.
Chinese.
Do they teach Chinese?
Mandarin, isn't it? Language of the future.
I can honestly say I have never and will never, ever need to use German.
You don't know that. You don't know that. Supposing you are in Germany and you are... I asked the way to the train station the one time I went to Germany. I couldn't understand the instructions.
But I go to Spain a lot. I'd love to be able to speak Spanish.
Learn it.
Well, I tried to, but as an adult, it's very difficult. I was useless. I was the bottom of the class. They laughed at me.
Did they? I learned Greek for a while. And I was all right. Then 3 months in, it suddenly just got really, really difficult, and it's all to do with genders. And the noun will change the gender of the whole sentence. There are more irregular verbs than regular verbs.
So, and to be honest, the minute they bring in all that silly business of giving words, masculine or feminine,
no, it's nonsense.
I'm afraid they lose me.
Do you know the language?
It's unnecessary.
The easiest language to learn.
What's that?
Japanese.
Really?
It's a piece of cake. The sentence structure is really, really rigid. Once you know what order the words go in, that's it. There are only 4 tenses, and you just change the end of the word. There are hardly any irregular verbs, I think.
But don't they make completely different sounds that we don't have in English?
Hey!
What?
Hang on a second. I'm trying to think. Kore wa dare no kasa desu ka?
What?
Kore wa dare no kasa desu ka? Whose umbrella is this?
Ah.
And I when I went to Japan, I was saying that phrase as often as I could.
Really?
Kore wa dare no kasa desu ka? Ah, dozo. And you give it to them.
Go on.
It will involve stealing someone's umbrella.
But you don't sound Japanese.
In Tokyo, they understood me. The further away from Tokyo we got, the more they're going, what? They didn't understand a word I was saying. Lazy Japanese outside of Tokyo. Lazy.
Well, if everyone just spoke English, things would be so much easier, wouldn't they?
It would, wouldn't it? I do wonder sometimes why they don't.
Exactly. Selfish.
Lazy foreigners. Call me now. 08459 455 555. Who are the lazy... What's the laziest nationality in the world?
I think it might be British people.
I think it might be. What's on your show today?
Coming up on...
continuing this casual racism?
No.
Good?
No, we're moving well away from casual racism at 9.
That's Elton John and Sacrifice there.
One of them came up against me, I couldn't touch it, I was shocked.
Yeah, man, respect, boss, yeah?
Get some brains, get some copper.
As you know, I deal in fact and not fiction.
Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. That was the new one from Elton John called Sacrifice. A Sacrifice by Elton John. Sounds like it could be a big, big hit. Right, always a great pleasure to welcome friends of the show back to the show, and it's a great pleasure, Catherine, to have Matt in Luton back on. Good morning to you, Matt. How are you this morning? You enjoying the weather?
Enjoying the weather, yes.
Yeah, you like a bit of rain, do you?
Well, I didn't have a lot of rain here.
Oh, did you hear the thunderbolts?
Not really.
Did you see the lightning bolts?
No.
Did you enjoy the heat yesterday?
Oh, Oh, yes, very nice, yes.
Yep, that's really wonderful news. Well, Matt, thank you so much for calling.
Yes.
We'll speak to you next week.
Okay.
Did you have a point you wanted to make? You silly
Yes.
old...
You're a prat.
Excuse me?
That was Bruce Springsteen you had on this morning. You make me so mad, mate.
Bruce Springsteen?
The first record you played this morning was Bruce Springsteen.
I think you'll find it was Elton John and Sacrifice.
I'm sorry, mate. You just do it to wind us up.
No need to apologise, Matt. You're getting on a bit and you get confused. It was Elton John and it was Sacrifice.
Sacrifice, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to sacrifice you.
Can we clip that? Because that is actually a threat of murder, Catherine. He's threatening to murder me.
I think it's justified.
What, sorry?
I'm just saying.
Justified the sacrifice.
Justified to punch you in the nose. Yeah, you won't be laughing then. You'll be crying because you'll have a broken, bloody nose. I'm not swearing. I'm being literal. I'm swearing as well.
Right, that's
just being
definitely a
clever.
threat. That's definitely
Yeah, I'm threatening to punch a listener in the nose. What? Don't tell me the BBC got a problem with that.
Eh?
What?
If I said that, you would have cut me out for swearing.
Yeah, but I'm cleverer than you.
No, but you get away with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Kath, what do you talk to him? He's getting on my nerves.
I like Matt.
What do you like him for? He's a plum.
I like him because he keeps it real.
He's a miserable old so-and-so.
I know my music, pal.
All right, Matt. All right. Listen.
Yeah.
Would you like me to play Elton John and Sacrifice?
No, I want to play you. You must play me Daytime Friends and Nighttime Love.
All right. Let me find it on the computer. Hang on a second. Daytime Friends, Nighttime Lovers. Okie dokie. Right, we've got it. Do you want to introduce it?
Yes.
Go on then.
The great Kenny Rogers, Daytime Friends and Nighttime Lovers.
Is that all right, Matt? Thank you very much. Ta-ta. Plum.
As real as it may seem, it was only in my dream.
Elton John, Sacrifice. I like that one. I'm not a massive fan of EJ, but I quite like that one.
Different. He's taken a different direction.
He's taken it in a different direction, as he so often does. This happened.
This happened.
I sat next to a nervous flyer on our return journey from New York when we just got engaged.
So you got engaged to a nervous flyer?
No, I got engaged to somebody else, but we got
Your
separate.
husband?
Yeah.
Why would you get engaged to someone you're married to?
Well, we weren't married then.
I can just keep them coming if you want.
Yeah. Anyway, so we got separated, and I ended up holding this.
You got separated from your husband? That's really sad. Why didn't you tell us?
He was sitting across the plane.
Are you still
Across the
together?
aisle. Yeah, we are now. Anyway, shut up.
So you got back together? Well, that's nice.
At the end. But
there's hope for everyone. So you got separated from your husband and then you've reconciled.
But on the
now
way...
they're engaged.
Yeah.
Again?
So the point...
I don't think you can be engaged to your husband.
The point is...
So is your husband okay with flying now or not? I'm confused. We can keep him coming.
The point was...
Yeah?
The funny thing about that story was...
Oh, there's a funny thing to this story. OK, hang on, let me get comfy. Hang on, let me have a little sip of coffee. Hang on.
I'd like another coffee, actually.
I'm ready. Go.
The funny thing about
bit?
that story
The funny
was...
bit of the story is...
I
tell you what, we'll find out after this.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Nicola, thank you very much. Coming up, the funny part of Catherine's divorce story. I don't quite know how that's going to pan out. It sounded very tragic. OK, so a little recap. Before the travel and the news, Catherine was telling us how she met her husband in a nervous flyers rehabilitation group. They then went on a flight to Saudi Arabia. He was nervous. And since then, they've divorced, but they're working on their relationship and getting back together. That's great. You're going to get to the funny part of the story now.
That's lovely, and that's someone else's story. My story was we got engaged in New York, and on the way back we got separated because we hadn't got, pre-booked seats.
That was quick.
I ended up sitting next to a very nervous flyer.
Was he handsome?
She...
Oh, I say, how modern.
Held my hand.
Oh!
All the way up. And all the way down again.
They do.
That was the funny thing about it. I just got engaged to someone, but I ended up with another woman on the return leg. And we've been very happy ever since.
I bet your fiancé loved that. But he thought, quoi? Eh? Quoi? Eh? Did you think that? Did he look over and go... Quah, give you the wink and the thumbs up as if to say, it's all right by me, girl.
He's not a crow. What's quah?
Quah.
What's the funny bit? Is that still coming up?
They're holding someone else's hand when you just got engaged. It's kind of not allowed.
I don't think separating from your husband is particularly funny. I mean, I can understand why you'd want to, try and make light of that, but...
We weren't married.
But so you've married this woman now?
Yeah,
What's her name?
Yeah, OK. Julie.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What does she do?
Holds my hand.
I don't know if I approve, to be honest.
Why?
Well, this same-sex marriage thing, I'm not really convinced. You've demeaned my marriage by doing that, haven't you?
Have I?
Yeah, of course you
Oh,
have.
sorry about that.
But
Still-
if you love someone,
I suppose so. Listen, live, as long as you don't ram it down my throat, eh? But still, qua. Eh? Qua. Here's this bit.
Here's this bit.
Luton Labour Party have banned councillors from speaking to journalists in all instances other than specific circumstances on ward issues. We can reveal the move was approved at a meeting on Friday night, and a senior Labour source has already branded it paranoid and counterproductive. Comes after our political reporter, Paul Scoynes, uncovered allegations of membership packing by Labour in council wards in Luton. Well, I'm joined now by the Labour leader of Luton Borough Council, Hazel Simmons. Good morning, Hazel.
Good morning,
Why
Ian.
have you introduced this policy?
This policy was requested by a member of our backbenchers because they felt that this would be helpful.
So this isn't off the back of a specific example of a councillor speaking out of turn that this has been introduced?
No, this is a policy that was already in place. We've had...
Because we have had councillors going against the party line on this station.
Yes, I know you have. Yes.
They wouldn't be allowed to do that now.
They could request to do that. You've read the policy out. They could request to do that.
Okay, I've got the written version of it here in front of me. You say it's not about gagging. Members must also obtain permission from a member of the group executive before giving an interview. Possibly fair enough. Group members must convey a positive message about the Labour Council. So they can't come on and say they disagree with something that the Labour Party in Luton is saying. They must give a positive message.
Well, they can. We would prefer them not to, but members can.
Well, it says
it's
that
just warning. It's just making sure that they do that in a personal capacity and not as a member of the Labour group.
Why are you warning them that they can't
No, we're
say
not
these
warning
things?
them. It's saying to them, look, if you're going to do that, do it in a personal capacity and not as a member of the Labour group, and let us know that you're going to do it. The reality is that they're part of a collective organisation. The Labour group is a collective group. We make collective policy decisions, and then if somebody wants to speak out against that, they do it as an individual. There's nothing to stop them doing that.
So
the bit that's annoying is the fact that this was all debated on Friday, and a member of all the members approved it by consensus that this would go forward, and then somebody's leaked it.
Why is that annoying that someone's leaked it?
Because why would they do that? Why wouldn't they raise the issues they're obviously concerned about in a group meeting?
Maybe they were scared.
Scared of what? These are elected councillors, for goodness sake.
Why did you hold this in secret? If this hadn't have been leaked...
This is not a secret. This is normal Labour group meeting.
If this hadn't have been leaked to us, we wouldn't have known about this. The public wouldn't have known about this. Why was this kept in secret?
It's not a secret.
You were upset that someone's leaked
we
it.
have policies. We've got lots of other policies you don't know about.
Like
we
what?
don't tell you about them. There are policies. We're an internal. They're internal Labour group policies. They're guidelines.
You don't
that we
tell
use.
the public your policies.
No,
that sounds
we
crazy.
talk to them about council policies.
Right.
But this is an internal Labour group policy.
But why are you so upset that this, which is significant because it is stopping councillors from expressing their opinions, why are you so upset that this has been leaked?
I'm frustrated,
Why?
if you want to know the truth,
Why?
Ian, because this was something that was debated and discussed openly amongst members. There obviously are members in my group who are not comfortable with it. Otherwise, this would not have appeared in Paul's inbox. Consequently, but they did not raise that.
And it must be frustrating because the whole point of this policy is you don't want people to say they're unhappy with what's going on.
It's not that. It's if you're going to have an organisation that is elected and they work together in a majority vote situation, we have to be able to assume that everybody is on board in general. Otherwise, they will speak out against it.
Yes.
Nobody spoke out against it in that meeting.
And I think maybe
that's why it's frustrating.
If no one spoke out against it, but still felt strongly enough to leak it out, I would suggest that would imply that there is fear or there is a problem with the leadership.
Well, why didn't they raise it with us? Or why didn't they say who they were
because
that
of
was
the two
leaking
reasons.
it?
Because of the two reasons I've just said: fear or a problem with the leadership, and an inability to listen to people's concerns.
Well, I think that's unfair and untrue.
If someone broke these guidelines, what would happen to them?
At the moment, that would be down to the whip. I couldn't comment.
Could they be kicked out of the party?
No, I don't suppose so. But they could certainly. The whip would ask them questions.
They could technically be kicked out, couldn't they?
Look, all political parties have whips. That's how they work.
So if someone came out and said something that you didn't agree with, they could technically be kicked out of the party, couldn't they?
I'm not really 100% sure of that.
This is your
Ian,
policy, and
to
you
be
don't
honest.
know.
No, well, this doesn't talk about kicking anybody out. It is a guideline.
You must have considered it as a possibility.
It is a guideline. It is a guideline that you can use.
But you don't know what happens if someone disobeys the
Those
guideline.
are the whips would administer
So you've
the
not
rules.
considered that as a possibility that someone might speak out? You've not thought what the ramifications might be for someone?
Well, I mean,
it seems odd to set up some guidelines
it's not
without
that for
knowing
me,
what happened.
Surely
what
it's not
happens
for
if
me to think what the ramifications are, but before the individual to think about what the ramifications are.
So it's not for you to think about what the ramifications are. It's for the individual to think. But if you, as their leader, can't tell them what those ramifications are, can you see how that
They
might...
do. We all
can you
know
see
what
how
the
that
rules
might
of
breed
the
a
Labour
culture of
Party
fear?
are.
Well, tell me then, if someone breaks these guidelines, what will happen to them? They could be kicked out of the
But
party.
that would not be the immediate reaction to this.
But that would prevent... That fear of being kicked out could prevent a number of people from speaking out, couldn't it?
But it's the same policy in most parties. We're not any different to other parties. You have a policy about how you work.
Chiltern Council don't have this policy.
I'm not talking about parties.
Milton Keynes Council don't have this.
All
policy.
councils, all political parties will have some form of media strategy. And
Well, media strategy is different from saying you can't speak out against the party. Here's another line here. Members must ensure they do nothing publicly or in the media to show dissent.
But they can come and talk to us about if they've got problems.
But that's fine, but that will be kept internal.
Yes.
Surely the people, the public, have a right to know if councillors are disagreeing. Why are you so scared of councillors expressing their own opinions?
Look, it's a guideline. I've tried to say that to you. It's
that
a
could involve
guideline.
them getting kicked out of the party.
About how we might we deal with the process.
Why are you scared about them expressing their own
not being
opinions?
scared.
But you won't let them do it in public.
It does allow you to do that. It allows you to talk to people.
Where does it?
Without
Where does
permission,
it say?
it talks about.
Where does? Well, no.
I don't know whether you've got the latest document.
This may not be the latest. This is dated July 2014.
Well, the latest document was amended, but it was it would have been amended by the whip, and by the time you had this within an hour of our group meeting, so I couldn't tell you whether you've got the latest document or not.
Okay, well you would know if this has been changed. The members can speak out, but they have to get permission.
Yeah.
And they have to convey a positive message about the Labour Council. Members have the right to disagree, which is good, but only within the confines of internal meetings, which is not good.
It's our normal process. But the truth of the matter is, if
Why
they want,
can't they-
yeah,
why
but
can't
if
they
they wish to
disagree
go out
outside
and,
of internal meetings?
Look, we're meant to be colleagues. If they wish to go outside and say we oppose the Labour group's policy on X, then that is possible. It's
How
just
is it possible? What would they have
just
to do?
saying, could you please at least talk to us first before you do that? That's all it's
That's
asking.
not what it says, though, is it?
But that's the request.
You've disagreed with Labour before, haven't you? And you've not got permission to do that.
We've disagreed on policy. We might have done.
Right, and you've not got permission to do that.
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Post offices. Did you get permission to speak out against Labour on that?
We spoke on behalf of our community on post offices.
Which disagreed with the Labour line?
National policy.
So did you get permission to speak out against the Labour line?
We didn't speak out against Labour line. We spoke out against the closure of post offices, and it
Which was government policy at the time of
Yes.
the Labour government.
Yes.
Did you get permission to speak out against the Labour Party?
We probably did tell them nationally that we would not be supporting.
Did you get permission?
Yes, probably. I can't remember. It was a while ago now.
You would remember if you got permission to speak out against the party. I put it to you, and I don't know, but I put it to you. You didn't get permission. That you felt strongly about it.
We
and
will
so
have
you spoke. You spoke
we will
out
have let
about
our
it.
national party know that we were not going to be able to support that policy due to and the reason
in advance of talking about it.
Yes.
Okay. So you let them know, but you didn't seek permission. There is a difference, isn't there?
Well, like
There's
I
a
said
difference
to you,
between
like I said
telling
to
them
you,
or getting permission.
Talking to
Supposing one of your councillors.
What the point of this is
Supposing
to
one of
say,
your councillors.
No, Ian, you've got to understand. The point of this is not to stop people speaking out.
Okay.
It's saying, like I've just said to you, we have told people we wish to do this. This is a guideline. And saying to
But they
members,
could lose their party membership if they
please,
step
could you
out
talk
of the
to us if you
guidelines.
want to speak out?
So you told the Labour Party you wouldn't be able to support them. You didn't ask permission. Supposing one of your councillors comes up to you and says, Hazel, I don't agree with what you're doing. I'm not going to support it. I'm not going to support it publicly.
Well, then they would have to make a decision on whether that was how they were going to oppose it publicly, wouldn't they?
And the rules
But
say...
I would prefer, as I would have preferred the discussion on this document to have happened in our group, because you normally join a party and you become a collective. Therefore, you are a collective, you make decisions, the majority vote goes through, just as it
But
does.
you're still allowed to
in
disagree.
council. Yes, nobody's saying that.
Ken has emailed in, surely the most important aspect of this is that the existence of the new rule itself was supposed to be a secret. You don't see it as a problem that this, if this hadn't been leaked to us, we wouldn't know about this. You don't think that's a problem?
Well, no, because it's an internal document.
It's an internal document that sets out rules, very strict rules, on what the council members can and can't say. So we would not know that some council members will disagree with the council because they're not allowed to tell us.
Well, that's not what it's saying.
Group members, it is exactly what it's saying, Hazel. Group members must convey a positive message about the Labour Council. Members have the right to disagree, but only within the confines of internal meetings. Members must ensure they do nothing publicly or in the media to show dissent. It's exactly what it says.
Well, it's a guideline, and if somebody felt that strongly about something, then certainly these are elected councillors, and if they really felt that strongly, as you well know, they will air their views.
Not if they're worried about getting kicked out of the party, which you have said this morning is a distinct possibility that could happen to them. It's a threat, isn't it? It's a threat. You speak out a line, you're out.
It's trying to keep...
it's a threat, isn't it?
Trying to say, make sure that people understand policies. It's
and
not
they
about
toe the line.
Stopping them.
Do you feel comfortable, Hazel, that you are gagging your councillors and threatening them with them being kicked out of the party?
This is not about gagging
threatening them with them being kicked out of the party if they do not toe the party line. There is a threat that they could be kicked out of the party. Do you feel comfortable with that threat?
I feel comfortable that the majority decision on Friday at my group meeting was to accept that.
Even though obviously people are obviously very unhappy about it because they've leaked this out.
But how on earth would I have known that if nobody tells us that they're unhappy about it?
Do you feel comfortable putting the threat on your councillors that if they speak out of line against party policy...
I am happy that document went through. Were you asking me that? I am happy that document was agreed by the majority of my members.
I am drawing from that statement that you are happy that there is, and correct me if I'm wrong, you are happy that there is a threat that if councillors speak out of line, if they speak outside of the confines of internal meetings, if they show dissent, if they do not show a positive message about the Labour Council, you are happy that there is a threat over their heads that they may be kicked out of the party?
I'm not. There is nothing in there about kicking anybody out of the party. You have inferred that.
No, you said yourself this morning that was a possibility.
There are long-term rules that indicate that, but that is not the intention of that document.
You said that was a possibility.
That is not the intention, as they well know. That is not the intention.
You said that was a possibility. That threat is hanging over their heads.
Yes, there are Labour Party rules that can do that.
OK, so are you happy with the threat over councillors' heads? They might be kicked out of the party if they... they show dissent, they convey a negative message, and they disagree outside of meetings.
I would not want to kick any member out of the
You wouldn't want
party.
to, but it could happen.
But I would hope that we could have a conversation about what the issue was that they were upset about, but that doesn't appear to have been possible on this occasion.
Will you consider revising this at all, or are you happy with the way this is drawn up?
I will talk to the whip about it.
And say what?
We will have a meeting and talk about it.
And say what?
No, I'm going to take back what's gone from this event, and that people are obviously because they have, as members of the Labour group, leaked it. I will have to take that back to the whip.
And Dave from Luton made himself sound like a muppet.
No.
Say
no.
it. Say it.
No.
Say it.
I won't. No.
Say it.
No.
Say it.
No.
Say it.
No.
Say it.
No.
Say it. Say it.
No.
Say it.
No, I'm not a muppet.
Say
no.
it. Say it.
What's that record you usually play when one's talking?
Don't say it, Dave. Don't say it. Don't you keep out of this, Lockwood. Say it.
Who's that there?
Oh, go away.
Thanks for listening to this free download from BBC Three Counties Radio, your local radio station for beds, hearts and bucks, on FM, AM, digital radio and online at bbc.co.uk/3counties.